Hi, how are you? I hope you're fine, you're well, you're awesome. My name is Bigaba Joan. I work with the leading referral pharmacy in Uganda called Vine Pharmaceuticals Limited. At Vine Pharmaceuticals, we will never give you something we can't give our own children, our own relatives, and then we give value with values. We shall make sure you choose the right product. We equip you with the right knowledge to give you the right amount of choice to be able to choose the product that you need. Yeah, so welcome, you're welcome again to my channel. And today we're looking at an amazing product, a product I love so much. Why? It is unique. When you're a bit unique, you have a niche and then you're able to take over. So it's a bit unique in its ingredients. It has different ingredients, and the product is called Vixea Man Plus. So when you say Vixea Man Plus, guess what? We're still talking about sexual dysfunctions in men and which products we use for the various sexual dysfunctions that affect the men. Yeah. So Vixea Man Plus. Yeah, so Vixea Man Plus is an amazing product. So I'll start with which ingredients does it have? It has things like Tribulus terris. It has fenugreek. It has phoscolin. It has honey goat feed. It has milk thistle. It has black pepper. Wow. And a soap palmetto. Did I mention soap palmetto? Yeah. So it has all those ingredients, and all those ingredients work together to give someone a good sexual feeling, puts someone in the mood for sex. So let me start with the products that we haven't looked at in the other ingredients. Imagine all the ingredients we've looked at, and this one, majority of the ingredients we've not looked at. So don't touch the dial. This is an amazing product. And let me tell you, if you have a client, a man, if you are obese, overweight, you can never go wrong with Vixea Man Plus, because this is the right product for such a man. So yeah, let's get off. Let's start with black pepper. Black pepper is one of the newer products. So black pepper contains a chemical known as myristin. Myristin is Myristin. Myristin has vasodilatory and smooth muscle relaxant properties. In order for an erection to take place, we need blood flow, and in order for blood to flow, the blood vessels have to open up, the ones that supply the penis, and then the smooth muscles have to be relaxed so that blood flows towards the genitalia, towards the penis, and therefore someone has a rock hard, solid erection. So then the next thing that it does is it has another active ingredient called piperine. Now, when you're looking at prostate, remind me to look at black pepper again, because it's a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. So when you're looking at the prostate enlargement, we shall look at what 5-alpha reductase inhibitors do and how they help prevent prostate enlargement. So so until next time when we look, I'm tired of promising next time, but next time we shall look at when we finish sexual dysfunctions, the products. The way we cater to people's marriages in Vine is that you find that I've taken a longer time on the sexual dysfunction properties, because we want people to have happy marriages, to have fulfilled marriages, to have a good sex life. So we have very many products that cater to each man's individual need. So here, obese men with a weak erection, men with low testosterone levels, this is a very good product for them. So back to black pepper. Now, black pepper boosts dopamine levels. I've been talking about dopamine being excitatory. Very many times I'll be saying dopamine is excitatory. So dopamine is usually produced in response to sexual stimuli. So if you're touched, if you felt, if you tested, if you're going to have intercourse with your spouse, one of the chemicals that is released in response to the sexual stimuli, in response to the touch, in response to the anticipation for sex is dopamine. So what does dopamine do? So thanks to dopamine, you are able to really enjoy sex. It's excitatory, but the reason you enjoy sex, the reason you have that enjoyment, that feeling that you feel when you're having sex, is because of dopamine. Without dopamine, you wouldn't be able to enjoy sex. So dopamine is one of the most important sexual hormones that you produce. So black pepper will help you enjoy the sexual experience. It will help you increase your erection, and it will also help you with prostate enlargement. But with prostate enlargement, we shall look at it much later. So thank you so much. Then the other component that it has is honey goatweed. We've looked at honey goatweed, right? We've looked at honey goatweed. Honey goatweed touches, you see, honey goatweed, people call it a natural Viagra because it has the same ingredients as Viagra, as Kamagra, as Peneg. Okay, it doesn't have the same ingredients actually, but it works the same way. So it's not the same ingredient, but it is in the working in the same way. So with honey goatweed it is a PDE5 inhibitor. That's how it works like Viagra, but it doesn't stop that. So the reason it's better than the Viagra, the Camagras, the Penegras, the what, is that it attacks the sexual dysfunction as a wholesome. It attacks the weak erection in a wholesome way, not only in one way. So how does it do it? It will help to when you're touched, when you're felt, when you're what, impulses are sent through the pelvic nerve to the blood vessels for them to start enlarging and doing the thing. And the messenger that brings the impulses is called acetylcholine. So within the pelvic nerve is what we call a neurotransmitter, the messenger that is going to tell the blood vessels, let's produce nitric oxide, and then we lead to dilatation, we lead to enlarging of the blood vessels. And that messenger is called acetylcholine. But the only problem is that in the body, usually there is an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase that prevents the production of acetylcholine. So what honey goatweed does is to tell that acetylcholinesterase enzyme to back off, so that we are able to have acetylcholine bringing these impulses to the blood vessels, that it's time to open up and allow blood to flow so that someone gets a good erection. So that's the first thing that honey goatweed does. Honey goatweed also is a calcium channel blocker. When you have calcium within the blood vessels and in the muscles, calcium makes the muscles contract and the blood vessels to become rigid, and therefore preventing blood from flowing. So what honey goatweed will do, it will block the calcium, and therefore the blood vessels will relax and allow blood to flow and be relaxed and expand and allow blood to flow to the penis. So the other thing it does is that it's a PDE5 inhibitor. You've heard me talk about phosphodiesterase enzyme. So you can go back and look at the video where I was talking about the erection cycle and the function of phosphodiesterase enzyme 5. So in you as a man, you have an enzyme called phosphodiesterase enzyme 5 that's preventing you from being erect all the time. So when the nitric oxide is produced and then you produce CGMP, your blood vessels relax, allowing blood to flow into the penis and you erect. But did you know that at any one moment you have blood flowing through your penis? So at any one moment you can have CGMP being produced, and you wouldn't want to be erect all the time, would you? So PDE5 will prevent that CGMP production or reduce the levels of CGMP so that a man is not erect all the time. But the only problem comes in when PDE5 remains when it's time to have sexual intercourse. So what honey goatweed will do is that when it's time for sex, honey goatweed will inhibit the PDE5 so that CGMP is produced and you're able to open up the blood vessels and allow for blood to flow through. So look back, because almost every component I've been looking at, almost everything I've been looking at has honey goatweed. So I've explained honey goatweed over and over again. It also mimics testosterone. Testosterone is the primary sex hormone of a man. I don't know how to emphasize it. Primary means without it. Imagine you just woke up one day and went to, imagine you woke up one day and then you went to secondary school. How would that be? So primary is like the foundation. So it's like that rock, that the foundation. Without testosterone, you'll have a weak erection, you'll have low libido, you'll have low muscle strength, you'll lack energy. So testosterone is it for a man. So it will mimic testosterone, so the body will perceive that this is testosterone and begin to act accordingly. And I like saying, get in line. Okay, so then the other thing is that it's an aphrodisiac. An aphrodisiac puts you in the mood for sex, whereby you're unable to remember stressful things, and you're just in that mood of you're going to have intercourse, your dopamine will be produced, you'll enjoy the sex, you'll have a good erection, and yeah, life is good. Yes, so then the next ingredient that we're looking at is alpha lipoic acid. Now, people usually confuse alpha linoleic acid or linoleic acid with alpha lipoic acid, but alpha lipoic acid is not an omega 3. Alpha lipoic acid is an amino acid. I repeat, alpha lipoic acid is not an omega 3, it's an amino acid. And what are amino acids? Amino acids are building blocks of proteins. They are building blocks of proteins. So alpha lipoic acid being an amino acid, it's a building block for protein. But this particular alpha lipoic acid, its function is that it helps the body convert glucose into energy. That's why you find that most people with diabetes, one of their best treatments, control and stuff like that, is alpha lipoic acid, because it helps to convert glucose into energy. And in sex, you need energy, right? Yeah, so energy levels for stamina, for energy as you're having in a natural, healthier way, because you're converting glucose into energy. So that's the main function of alpha lipoic acid. It also improves sperm movement because of the energy and reduces sperm DNA damage. How? It is an antioxidant. So it is an antioxidant. It will prevent sperm DNA damage. When there are many free radicals moving into the body, they cause what we call oxidative stress. And when there is oxidative stress, there's usually damage to the other cells. So let me explain it this way. I had it being let me simplify it for you. So you have a cell. A cell is the smallest unit of the body. So your body is made up of millions and millions of cells. So it's the smallest unit of the cell of the body. So a cell will form a tissue, then a tissue will form an organ, then an organ will form a system. So it is cell to organ to cell to tissue to organ to system. Now, that means that every cell needs to be connected to become a tissue, needs to be connected to become an organ, so they need to be connected to something. But now, when you undergo pollution, when you eat a lot of sugary things, the body processes, they produce weird cells, what we call free radicals. As someone explained, they are free radicals. They are weird cells called free radicals that are produced because of the body processes, pollution, light, obesity, too much cholesterol, eating a lot of bad sugary foods, that will produce what we call free radicals. Now, what do those free radicals do? It's because they are not connected, because in the body you have to either be a cell that's forming a tissue, that will form an organ, that will form a system. So what happens that these cells come and disturb the integrity of the cells, tissues, organs, and then systems. So what ends up happening, they damage the DNA of the normal cells. And when you have very many free radicals together, it's like they form their own thing. They form their own tissue, they form their own organs, that later, those are things we call malignant tumors that later develop into cancers. It's because of those free radicals. So those free radicals, before they become cancers or malignant or anything, they disturb the normal structure of the other cells. So what happens is that you have DNA damage. And alpha lipoic acid is an antioxidant. That means it fights and isolates those free radicals so that they do not disturb the normal structure of the body, the systems, the organs, the tissues, the cells. Are we together? Because sperms are cells, so that it doesn't disturb the normal structure. Yeah, so alpha lipoic acid is an antioxidant, prevents DNA damage. It leads to sperm motility because of the energy, and also the energy during intercourse. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to that. I hope you've listened. Go back and listen. If I was very fast, you do it in slow mo so that you hear one word: alpha lipoic acid. Anyway, back to normal programming. Did you know that Vixea Man Plus contains milk thistle? Wow. So it contains milk thistle. Milk thistle is usually used to treat liver conditions. So imagine you have a client who has a liver condition, is obese, and has a sexual issue. Don't you think now you've gotten the right product for them? Yeah, so this is a very good product. So milk thistle, it contains milk thistle. Milk thistle contains a flavonoid called silymarin, which is Silymmarin. So silymarin, this increases testosterone levels and sperm quality and quantity. So milk thistle will help to improve testosterone production, but also sperm quality and sperm quantity. Let me tell you, when you do testosterone also helps with sperm production. When you do testosterone, your sperm quality improves, your quantity, your things, and then it has an antioxidant age infertility. Will also this Vixia Plus will work. Then the other thing that it has is phoscolin. So phoscolin is usually in weight loss products, and it's a very, very good weight loss product. And as we shall see, don't touch the dam, that weight loss is very, very important for a man to be able to have adequate amounts of testosterone hormone. So what does phoscolin do? It reduces belly fat by helping create enzymes called lipase. You know lipase enzyme, when you're looking at the digestive system, there is lipase enzyme and adenylate cyclase. So it creates enzyme called lipase and adenylate cyclase. How do these enzymes work? They free fatty acids from cells. Wow. They free fatty acids from cells. When the fatty acids are freed, they can be burned as fuel. So there is fatty acids that are stored in our cells, and actually we start calling those cells fatty cells. So what the lipase and adenylate cyclase do is that they release the fatty acids from the cells, and then mitochondria and then they are burnt to create energy. So phoscolin, but what ends up happening is that now you have less fats and more of it is being burnt to produce energy. Yeah, so that's that. So that in that way they will help with weight loss. So how does it help when it comes to how does it help when it comes to sexual dysfunction? Now, when someone has an abundance of fat cells, they are converting, in the fat cells there is an enzyme called aromatase that converts a man's testosterone into estrogen. Estrogen is a female sex hormone, and we are talking about men. So whereas women need estrogen as the primary female sex hormone, men need testosterone. So when you're converting most of the man's testosterone into estrogen, you're affecting their sexual function. So what phoscolin will help us is to remove the fatty cells that are a source, or the fatty acids that are a source of aromatase that converts our testosterone to estrogen. Therefore, our testosterone levels will improve. We shall have high libido and all these other processes that testosterone help with. So the other thing is saw palmetto. We shall look at saw palmetto when we are looking at prostate, but saw palmetto helps to balance the levels of bound testosterone and free testosterone. The testosterone that you need sexually is free. When it's bound, it's of no use to you. Yeah, so it will help to free up bound testosterone, and I can't belabor libido and other functions of testosterone. So the other thing is fenugreek. Fenugreek. You know fenugreek for being given to breastfeeding mothers. You know fenugreek as, but did you know fenugreek is a source of testosterone for men? Yeah, so fenugreek helps to improve testosterone levels in men. Wow, that's so amazing. So it will help with libido, it will help with all these other things. So the last component we are looking at is tribulus tertiaris. Tribulus tertiaris will help lower your stress levels. When you're stressed, you produce a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol makes your testosterone levels drop, and also it frees up bound testosterone, and therefore you're able to have more testosterone in circulation. So in a nutshell, Vixia Man Plus, if someone you're looking for something to give someone with a liver problem and having issues sexually, Vixia Man Plus is your go-to product. If someone is obese, Vixia Man Plus also has a weight loss product in it. Vixia Man Plus is basically helping with levels of testosterone hormone. Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.